Hello, this is wmpyr. First of all, let me apologize for the background over here. I'm having a very hard time filming this video, but I'm going to try to get through it as best as I can. You guys have no idea what I'm going through right now. But anyway, still, this is an exciting video. I got a package to unbox for you guys, and actually, I took it out already. This came from RW. His YouTube channel is Cyber Druid, the mod god. Okay, and he sent me this right here. Okay, two sticks for eskrima, for stick fighting. Okay, so he sent me these two, and I'm basically going to briefly show it to you guys and talk about my opinions on this stick, on the sticks. And let me say the reason why he sent these to me is because he wanted my 2 cents, my input on them, because he is interested on possibly selling them. Okay, so he wants me to test them out and give him feedback to, if there's any kinds of improvements or whatnot that need to be made. So he wants to make a quality instrument for you guys. Okay, I admire that very much. I believe it or not, I get asked all the time, where can I get eskrima sticks online? Where can I get sticks? I get asked that question all the time, and like I said, believe it or not, I wish I could give you guys a solid answer, but I can't. I don't want to send you guys somewhere where I don't have any firsthand experience with. I want to make sure that the place that I'm sending you, that I have had direct experience with them, and that I know that the person is passionate about making good quality instruments, and they genuinely care about their customer. So, this guy right now, by sending this to me and asking me to test them out and stuff, he's passionate. He's going the extra mile. So I really admire that. And it's an honor for me to be part of this project. I would like to be able to, recommend this guy, for you guys to get your sticks. That would be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. Okay. First of all, let me show you the wood right here. It's made of canary wood, and he said that canary wood is very interesting because it's strong, but it's also light. And just from what I've messed around with so far, it feels quite strong, and it definitely does feel light. I was expecting it to be much heavier. I'm going to go into some more detail comparing it to other eskrima sticks that I have in a second. But first, yeah, I'll just show you this again. Okay, and I'm going to show you this over here. And let me give you some of the dimensions. Okay, the length is 2 feet and 2.5 inches long, and the width is 3/4 of an inch. All right, and let me let me say something. Okay, these right here, these eskrima sticks are made of rattan, and traditionally this is what's common over in the Philippines. The eskrima sticks are going to be made of rattan. This is for training. Okay, they have other ones too. They have other kinds of eskrima sticks, and made of different material. And the important thing to understand is it's not just one type of eskrima stick, and it covers all grounds. There's eskrima sticks for training, and there's eskrima sticks for combat, okay, for fighting, okay. So that's very important. And as you can imagine, there's going to be eskrima sticks that also do both. They're both you could use them for training, but they're also good for combat as well, okay. So there's basically 3 types of eskrima sticks, just right off the top of my head like that, okay. And this one right here is made specifically for training. These are my favorite ones. I got this from Professor Remy Presas, founder of Modern Arnis. And when I got these, I got this in the early 90s, and I have tried to not use them, not abuse them as much as possible, but still, just over the years, you're going to get wear and tear, okay? And these are, from what I can tell, they're burnt eskrima sticks, burnt to make them harder, okay? And they have some kind of finish on them as well, and it's nice and smooth and everything. If you can see, like, this is an area right there that could have been bumpy right there between the I don't know what it's I don't know the technical term, but the growth right there, but it's smooth. They made it smooth. So like I said, this is my favorite pair personally. Um, and let's compare it to this, okay? Lengthwise, virtually identical. All right, so get this one as well. Like I said, lengthwise, basically identical, basically the same, if you guys can see. All right. What's interesting to note is this one right here. This pair, they're not exactly the same. All right. The growth of the wood is I'm sorry, I don't know the technical terms, but the grow the way it grew, I guess, is not the same. So the segments are different. Even the patterns are different. This one has some decoration. I see some flower type decorations. This one does too, but they're in different locations. The width is different and the length is slightly different as well. So some differences there. Okay, one's a little bit larger than the other. So this one right here, okay, so now I showed you that the length is basically the same. Let's look at the width. Basically the same, all right? And obviously, with these two sticks that he sent me, that RW sent me, I mean, a lot more accurate. Okay, very, very accurate. Okay, compared to that, it's a precise. You know, the good thing about this one that it's not equal size and stuff. What I could do is what I've been doing is the heavier one goes in the left hand to develop the left hand more. You know, my left hand needs work. I'm right-handed, so you know, I do stuff like that to go around that, because some people, it bothers them and they want them to be equal sized, you know, perfectly balanced and exactly the same. Right and left should be exactly the same. Some people think that way. I'm saying for improvised weapons combat, the chances of you finding two exactly the same weapons might be unlikely. There's a higher chance that it's not going to be exactly the same, so why not go with it? But here, I'm telling you, I mean, this is luxury right here. They're very, very close, or I mean, to me, I'd say they're the exact same. Basically, the dimensions are much more accurate than any of the other eskrima sticks that I really have, basically. And let's see, because the dimensions are so similar to my favorite ones, it's hard for me to say anything negative about this because it just feels so right. Because like I said, these are the ones that my favorite ones that I've been training with for years and years. You know, like I said, since the early 90s. And then this is the same length, same thickness. I mean, how can I not like it? You know what I mean? So me personally, it feels fantastic. How is the weight? This does feel heavier, all right? It does feel heavier, but not by a lot. Not to where it's so heavy that I feel like it's going to hinder any kind of articulate movement that I'm going to be using, okay? For combat, the general idea is that the eskrima stick is going to be longer, thicker, and heavier, all right? Thicker, you can understand. The thicker it is, I mean, it's kind of like, it's going to give you more grip, all right? If it's too thin, it's like trying to grab a pencil in a hammer grip like this. Trying to grab a pencil or pen like this real hard, it just doesn't feel solid. You know what I mean? So if it's a little thicker, you can imagine, all right? I do feel that this is on the thin side, but for me personally and my hand personally, this is excellent. And okay, I'll just say it right now. If you guys have noticed already, this is octagon shaped. Okay, so because of the octagon ridges right here, I feel that it works fine grip wise. It gives me extra gripping capability here, and feels very, very solid. Okay, I do have an eskrima stick that is actually that I've been using for practice. That's PVC, and it's the thickest one that I have, and that one almost feels like it's too thick. All right, and let me show you this one right here. This one is also rattan, but this one is not burnt. There is no finish on it, okay? And you can see like the growth right there. And this is actually like your skin can kind of catch on it a little bit, so it can be a little uncomfortable. Although these segments right here, like you can see a segment right there too, where the growth splits right there. This can kind of aid in gripping. It's just that it's a little rough. So if it was taped up, it'd be better. Like I have some that is taped. So once I tape over it, even though this is also rattan without the finish and without it being burned, okay, because there's tape over it, I can actually feel the notch right there, and it helps with gripping. Okay, so that's what that can do. This one that RW sent me, the gripping is in a different type of method. It's this way rather than this way. You know, like having segments this way. It's because of the octagon shape, but that provides grip as well. So that's just a different type of thinking there. But this one I feel is way too thin now. Okay, for me, this is honestly the lightest one that I personally own, the lightest eskrima stick. And because it's so light, I feel like I could really swing this around fast and do a lot of motions. The only problem with this is I believe for combat, I don't feel that this is reliable at all. Like I could bend this just like this. I actually got one of these same ones like this, and I broke it off my shin in a video. You could find it floating around. It was a Thai boxing video, but I break it off my shin, and it's not because my shins are super hard. My shins are conditioned, but it's also because this is not that tough. All right. This one, on the other hand, because it is burned and stuff, this definitely feels a lot tougher. And I'm telling you, these feel even tougher, all right? I would not want to try to break this with my shins. Especially also, this is another reason why the octagon shape is so cool, is because it provides ridges. So the ridges are for gripping, okay? But it's also for striking. When you strike, you're going to feel, you know, you could feel that edge dig in, okay? Now, there's a compromise there, okay? Let's think about it, okay? I've had nunchucks before where it was, the octagon shape was larger than this, and also the ridges were a lot more extreme. This is very sanded off, and it's very smooth. When I grip it like this and I grip it hard, it doesn't hurt my hand. All right, with those nunchucks, I wish I had them right now, but I don't. But when I grip them hard, it actually hurt my hand. And if I was scared to hit myself with it, and I believe I did at least once, but that was brutal. It was really brutal. So there's a give and take. All right. So if you make this on the octagon right here, if you make it a lot more sharper, all right, it's going to do more damage. But then when you grip it, it's not going to be as comfortable. Now, if you make it too smooth, it's going to be comfortable, but then the damage amount is going to be less when you're striking with it. Okay, so that there's that compromise you have to decide. On this one, what do I think? On a 1 to 10 scale, let's say 10 is like the absolute hardest ridges made for striking, brutal striking, period. All right, but super uncomfortable to hold in your hand. You're going to need gloves. You know what I mean? And 0 being absolutely rounded to the point where basically the ridges are basically non-existent, okay? And if you hit someone, it's going to be the same as hitting someone with a round stick, all right? I would say that 5 is the middle ground. This would be like on the 4 side, 4, 3, or around there, okay? So 5 to me, right in the middle ground would be excellent, and this is a little bit more towards the comfort side, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because you got to ask yourself, what is the purpose? You know, what is the purpose of this stick? Is it A, for training, or is it B, for combat? You know, and I also said that C it can do both, and I feel like this one really, I'd say it's a little bit more towards training, but I feel like this could also be used for combat. Now, what I mean by combat is normally when we're talking about combat for stick fighting, people are thinking about stick versus stick. It's like a competition. You know, you enter a competition where you're a stick fighter and you're going to face another stick fighter. And in a case like that, then, you know, it's kind of like knife fighting where the other guy is going to have a big old Bowie knife. All right. So I should also have like a Rambo knife. I'm not going to fight this guy with a utility folder. You know what I mean? He's going to have a huge advantage right there. So that in a stick versus stick type situation, you're definitely going to go with a longer, heavier stick. Heavier because when you hit, each hit is going to feel that much more harder, right? But this is combat doesn't have to be that either. You know, combat could just be self-defense. And in a self-defense situation, you're not going up against another stick fighter, so the stick doesn't need to be longer. It just needs to be, this is a stick that's very comfortable for you personally. How well can you move it? If this is going to be very similar in size to your practice sticks, and then when you go to this, you're not going to feel that much of a difference, then that's great. That's maybe ideal in some cases. So to me, it feels right along the lines of that. All right. So now I want to show you guys. This is a PVC pipe. Okay. So this is a PVC pipe that I cut, and this to me is I've been using this for home solo training. Okay, and in home solo training, this is nice and light. All right, because it's hollow. All right. And then on top of that, it is the shortest eskrima sticks it's not the shortest ones that I have, but out of this size, it is the shortest ones that I have. I have some that are like, you know, but anyway, let me put this into, if you guys can see right here. Can you see? Yeah, just how much shorter this is, okay? Now, the thing about being short is for indoor training and solo training at home, and this is one of the videos that I encourage. My main purpose for stick fighting instructional videos is I want you guys to train at home. Some of you guys, you know, you live in areas with extreme, you know, climates and stuff like that, and you can't always go outside. So you train at home. If you're going to train at home, there's a ceiling fan, there's windows, there's walls, there's tables. Okay, so the shorter the stick, kind of the better. If it's too short, then you don't really get the feel of the stick, so you don't get the momentum and stuff like that. But definitely still, the shorter the better, because you don't want to destroy stuff. So these right here, I think they could be shorter, like this length, all right? But then also, again, it comes down to, if you make it shorter, then for combat, all right, that means, you know, less that you could use for, you know, less of a reach advantage, less real estate to grab, all right, when you're doing, you know, this kind of technique like that. So, you know, there's a give and take. For only for training, then, you know, maybe this size might be better. But once again, I feel that this one, it has a good balance between training and for combat. So it's definitely not the shortest stick, and it's definitely not super long either. So, you know, these are some of the areas of my concerns when I look at the sticks. Okay, I don't know what else to talk about for now, but these are just my first impressions, and I will be continuously practicing with this, and I also will be hitting stuff with it, and, you know, putting it to more of a harder test, and come back with some more feedback. All right, so anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you, RW.